Hey, loves. So, when it comes to the things that you should be looking for in a partner, I always find it funny that Google is full of answers about, oh, you should look for this and you should look for that. And, some of these sites are okay. There's also plenty of really, really bad advice out there on the internet. But to make things a lot easier for you, today I want to talk about three things that you should not be looking for when it comes to finding your purpose partner. So, number one is anything that's on the surface. And I don't want you to construe this at all. You are allowed to want a man who's good looking. You're allowed to want a man who is funny. When I work with women one on one on improving their relationships and improving their dating life and getting them to the point where they attract godly men, one of the first things that we work on is what is it that you want in a partner, creating that list. So I'm definitely not opposed to it. However, I see this so often that women get caught up in they have this idea of what their dream man is like. And, a man comes through who looks like that. And then they get caught up on the surface stuff because he looks the part. He looks good on paper. And they don't really look under the hood, to use the phrase from a car. They don't really look under the hood to see how this man actually is because anyone can make themselves look better. I can fix my hair up really nice and put on makeup and wear really fancy clothes and jewelry and all of that. But you have to get much deeper than that to really get to know me as a person. Same applies to any man that you date. And of course, that leads us into the second thing that you do not need to be dating based off of, and that is potential. I hear this all the time. Well, I stayed in this relationship for 10 years or for 5 years or whatever because he had so much potential. When we first started dating, he seemed really great. All the surface stuff really got to me. He seemed really nice. He seemed really cool. He went to this college. He was in this program. He worked at this place. So I thought, of course, he's going to be ambitious. I thought, of course, he is going to want to provide for a family. And then we dated, and a year down the road, he became incredibly lazy. You cannot date for a person's potential. Potential is the same as intentions. And you've heard the phrase about how the road to hell is paved with good intentions. A person's potential shows them what they're capable of being. It does not mean that they are going to be that. And I mean this in the best and worst possible ways. For example, when you think about addiction, if you come from a family of alcoholics, then you are predisposed to it. You are more likely to become an alcoholic yourself. But I know plenty of people, actually myself included, who come from families where that is a genetic component and they don't drink. Well, it works in reverse too. I know plenty of people who come from families where the family has money and, everyone in the family is educated and everyone in the family, they're all nice people and they're charitable people and they're generous people. And you have that one person in the family who is the exception and they're predisposed to all these things, but they're still a bum. You cannot date based off potential. You need to date based on what a person really is at the moment. And the third thing that you should not be dating based off of is chemistry. Here's the thing. You most definitely should have chemistry with anyone that you date, with anyone that you are in a relationship with. Because if you don't have chemistry, then let's just be real. The relationship is going to be incredibly boring. That being said, chemistry is not the only thing that you should base a relationship off of because Chemistry is essentially our hormones trying to, let's be real, it's our hormones trying to promote us making babies and procreating. I had this discussion with a client recently, and she and I were talking about hormones and how they affect us in dating and relationships and in sex. And I was telling her that, the hormones that are released when two people have sex, they are addictive and they're meant to be that way because, from a biology standpoint, it's important that humans enjoy sex. That's how babies are made. And it's important that we populate the earth and, as God said, be fruitful and multiply. But, even though those things have their purpose when it comes to the biology and the evolutionary standpoint, those things don't really have much to do with the sustainable power of a relationship. Chemistry is what gets you in the door with attraction. It's not a reason to maintain a relationship, because I know plenty of people who have chemistry and then they get into a relationship together and they realize that, yeah, I'm attracted to this person like crazy, but this person is lazy. Or, yeah, I'm so attracted to this person, but he's toxic and he's not good for me. Yeah, I'm so attracted to this person, but in the course of being with this person, I have fallen away from my relationships with my friends. I've fallen away from the things that I was doing with my family. I've fallen away from my relationship with God. You can have chemistry with a person. You should have chemistry with a person that you're with. But if you have chemistry with this person and this person is putting up all sorts of red flags that they're not the right person for you, or they continuously give you signs that they're not willing to be committed to you, your chemistry means diddly squat. That's what your chemistry means. In order for a relationship to work, a relationship is between two people. So if only one person is really committed to the relationship, all of the chemistry in the world is not going to convince the other person that they also need to put in the work. So, 3 things that you should not be basing a relationship on: the surface, the other person's potential, and how much chemistry you have. Because all 3 of these things have one thing in common, and that is they are fleeting.